Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Swara Media's new program on this week. So, warm welcome to everybody who's on the live, who's there on the radio and the YouTube live as well. So, good morning, everyone. A happy Saturday. As you all know, so Swara Media has been on a continuous and producing a lot of content and helping the community to infotain and share knowledge on various aspects like health, education, immigration, various aspects. So this particular section, this particular episode, we're going to talk about some of the very crucial, important aspects in our life, particularly our kids' college application process. What are the various steps involved, and how do they can achieve their goal and aspiration in terms of achieving, getting the seats in the respective colleges that they're aiming for. So we have a special guest with us, Manisha ji. Namaste and warm welcome to Swara Media. And we have Venkat Garu and a few other participants on live, with us on Zoom. And definitely we'll go over the critical part, the main agenda, and we'll go forward from there on. If the team has any questions, we'll cover that. But before we go, I would like to introduce Swara Media to everybody. So Swara Media is formed in 2019, and since then we have been doing a lot of radio shows. We have been publishing Swara magazines, a digital magazine continuously, and we have been into various edutain and infotain platforms like music, magical, Swara awards, and various feathers of our Swara Media. So particularly as we are talking about today's topic is primarily on college admission process. So we have Manisha ji with us. Without any further ado, I would love to introduce Manisha ji. Manisha Khan is a certified college admission consultant. She is working in Bay Area for more than 9 years. As an ex-IT engineer, to change her career path out of passion, she did an extensive research out to meet many of the professionals and completed her certification from UC Riverside in college admission consulting. Every year, Manisha ji attended UC seminars, University College seminars for counselors to know about the changes in admission process. Manisha ji have helped thousands of students to get their desired colleges and majors. Manisha ji helps students for in-state and as well as university colleges and state colleges as per their decisions. Manisha ji and her team integrated BS and MD and DU called BSMD or BSDU consulting for high school students, those who are interested in medicine. We'll get to know more details about those abbreviations and how do they can achieve into it. And I would let Manisha just speak about those consulting programs and not only restrict to the medicine, even extend her insights on engineering, science, and other areas as well. We got to know about Secure College Admissions team very recently through Venkat Nagam Garu, and I got to know that Secure College Admissions team places students not just in university colleges but also in IVs also. It's my pleasure to introduce Manisha ji from Secure College Admissions to Swara Media and to Swara Media's audience. Before we go, I would love to say a happy Diwali and happy Diwali to all our participants and listeners and viewers. Without any further ado, I would hand it over to Manisha ji. Welcome.
Thank you, Rajesh ji, for a kind introduction. Happy Diwali, everyone. Happy Saturday.
Manisha ji, you're on mute.
Okay. Is it okay now? Okay. So they can hear me. Looks like Rajesh ji. Okay. If I request everyone if they can mute themselves while the presentation is going on, so that we can have at least the people can understand the slides. So if I see someone, Ashwin, if they can mute themselves, then we can at least go ahead with the presentations. Okay. So probably you can mute from your side. You are the host. And thank you, Rajesh. So you are doing a wonderful community work. Thank you, Swara, for inviting myself and Venkatji for this introductional and informational seminar. I have a couple of slides I will share with you, and I'm assuming that most of us are from California. So primarily, I can share the information about uses, but it is not just limited to uses. Lot of information is uses out of state, private colleges as well. And we have our associate here, Venkatji, who is specialized in BSMD program. So we will share about BSMD program as well. So let's get started. Perfect. So we went over my introduction. So I'm a certified college admission counselor working in the Bay Area. I have students in all of the UCs, from UC Berkeley to UC Riverside to UC Merced as well, depending upon the student's GPA. And why UC Merced, UC Riverside, you will see that in my presentation in a little bit. I am part of UC counselor teams where we get the regular updates. Our counselor happened just last month, and there are a couple of changes coming into the UC system mainly. And then I am part of NACSC, which is a National Association of College Admission Counselor, where we get regular updates about private and out of state colleges. So this is our contact information, email, phone number, and our website is securecollegeadmission.com. So we provide consultation as early as ninth grade. We have BSMD consultation, which is accelerated medicine path. And we have consultation for our middle school parents, college financial planning specialist, AP exam preps, SATs, volunteering and internship opportunities. So this is the our BSMD program. So there are two routes. One is the traditional route and another is the accelerated route. Venkat, who is here on the call, whose specialization is BSMD program, he has worked extensively with students and guide them into their dream of becoming a medicine doctor. There are around 50 BSMD programs, and there are 12, approximately 12 BSDO program, and which is from 6 to 8 year long, and lot of information. If you go through the traditional route, generally it will take anywhere between 11 to 13 years. But if you go through the accelerated route and becoming a doctor is a student's passion, then they can definitely go through this route as well. So what is difference about the strategies? So the BSMD counseling is based on the student's profile. So we don't believe one shoe fit all strategy. So it is very customizable according to the student's strength and weaknesses. And we have the BSMD, BSDO college list prepared depending upon the student's profile. We do extensively their application and essay reviews, interview preparation, which is a very integral and core part of the application process for BSMD. And then once the student get the acceptances, then comparing the colleges and weighing the options and finalizing the college for the student. So that's generally the process for BSMD as well as any other college selection process for us. It works. So you may have a question, right? Why do you need a counselor? So we get lot of information from here and there, and then why do you have to spend our hard-earned $1,000 on a counselor? So generally, where do parents get the information from? So I feel there are three sources. There may be other, but I feel these are the three primary sources that the parents go to look for the information. Primarily is Google. They do their research on Google. But if they know what to work and when to Google, then the Google will work. But if you don't know what to look for, the what exactly the information that you look for, and if you get the half information, you do more harm to your student than actually you do their better. So that is one aspect. Another is friends, and this I have basically witnessed this firsthand. If you have the same grade students as your friends, and I have seen that the parents will rarely share the full information. They will probably share half information, believing that your friend's child is in a direct competition with their own child. Or if the friend's child is, if they have already graduated from high school or if they are already graduated from college, the information they may have may be very outdated, because every year the lot of changes are coming into the college systems. Who would have thought 3 years ago that SAT and ACT are going to be test blind in UCs, and most of the colleges are saying it's optional. So no one knew that. But there are lot SAT, even over the last 6 years, SAT has been through different format changes as well. Initially it was 2400, now it has become to 1600. So all these changes which are coming to the college system, may your friends may and may not be aware of. Authentic source of information, definitely school counselors. They are the genuine source provider. But if you see the ratio for the public school counselor, it is 480 students to one school counselor. So honestly speaking, they are very overloaded. They have to go through a lot of documentation, lot of administrative work. So you will see across California, not even California, across USA, if you have specific questions, counselor can answer that, but they are not going to tailor your application and look at your profile and suggest that this is the best strategy for your student. So even though it's a best source of information, unfortunately they are overloaded and overworked. So what do we do as a private counselor? So we make your students stand out. So if you see, unfortunately or fortunately, all the Asians, they think alike. And then unfortunately we again go up to the tier one funnel up, and we compete again with each other. So how do we stand out from our own peer? And that's where actually the private counselor comes in hand. So this is the overview. If I'm assuming, probably if the parents are the freshmen and sophomores, juniors, they may or may not know the application review process and what are the factors that are considered into the application review. May it be the UC system or the private schools or the out of state schools. These are the application factors. When any admission officers receives your application, they are going to look at it. So you are the applicant, and this is called a holistic review of an application. Not necessarily only looking at the GPA, but along with the GPA, they are going to look at your test score. If the school says test scores are optional, so test scores meaning your SAT or ACT test scores. And what's the difference between both of these tests? We'll look in just a bit. Extracurricular activities, obviously it is very very important, which basically keep your child away from all the other group. Course rigor, so course, what exactly means course rigors, we'll look at it. And the essay, so which is a fundamental part of application process. So you have to write an essay, and anywhere from 4 essays to 25-30 essays, depending upon the college list, the student will go through that rigorous essay writing process. So, what exactly is course rigor? So, the first and fundamental part is your high school transcript. So, your high school transcript, think of it as your single source of truth. So, whatever GPA your high school transcript shows, that's the GPA you are going to report to your colleges. If you're self reporting, you're sending the transcript, that's the GPA that the colleges are going to look for. There are different ways the colleges do calculate their GPA. So UC system, they calculate their GPA differently than, let's say, Santa Clara Private College, or let's say Ivy League colleges. But the primary GPA, they are going to look at it, the GPA on your transcript, and based on that they will calculate their GPA as well. AP, so AP is advanced placement courses. So what is your course rigor? So how many advanced courses you have taken in your sophomore year, your junior year, your senior year, depending upon the courses that your school offers. So there are some certain school district which do not offer AP level courses at a freshman and sophomore level. There are certain schools which do offer courses as early as freshman year. So depending upon your school policy, how many AP courses that you have taken. Another thing is, in the 4 years of your curriculum, how many STEM and non-STEM courses you have taken. Some, unfortunately, the Asian parents, they have the mentality, and we still carry that baggage, that we went through actually the engineering, commerce, arts, that's the pathway. And let's say if your student want to go into the computer science, so we encourage them to just take the math, subjects, computer science subjects, and we discourage them to taking subjects which are history, foreign languages, English. That's not the system how it works here. So we should not put that our knowledge whichever happened back in India, China, wherever in the Asian countries, and guide our students, because it's going to harm them. And you will hear from me throughout my presentation that half knowledge is really harming to our student. Might as well we should not I'm kind of blunt, but still, I'm just coming out and saying it. We tell them, if you're taking the Spanish, just take it for 2 years, no need to take it for 4 years. If you're taking history, just take it as is required. You don't have to take it throughout your entire 4 years of school, or you don't have to take these kind of courses from outside of school. You can focus on math, you can advance up to linear algebra, you can advance up to vector calculus. I have seen students who did not take Spanish for all 4 years, but they have basically they did vector calculus even before going to the colleges, because that's how their parents advise them. So please be mindful when you tell your students which courses to take, which courses not to take, because sometimes it may not look very good on the application itself. Another aspect about the AP courses, so AP is an honors, so there are two different kind of courses. Some universities, and it depends upon the university to universities, that how they will look at the AP versus honors courses. Some university will give full one extra point for the AP course and point 0.5 for the honors courses. Some universities will look honors equivalent to regular course, but they will do consider that okay, the student have taken the honors course. And then there are some universities who are going to look at APs and honors equally. That means they will give one extra point for honors course as well. So the strategy will depend upon student to university to university. It's going to change. So when I say high school transcript, there are some school district which allow courses which is called as the dual enrollment courses. They are going to allow them to put it on their transcript. So your high school transcript will have courses taken during your 4 years of high school, plus your dual enrollment courses that will also come on your high school transcript. But there are some school district it is not going to allow that. And then dual enrollment courses, you have to report them separately in your application when you apply in a senior year. So the policies of each of the school district, so the school district, the way it works is the colleges, they have just the skeleton framework for them. So within the framework, how to decide the coursework and everything, that flexibility and fluidity is given to each of the college, each of the school districts. That's why if you see across, even across California, different school have different strategies, and if you go nationally, then obviously the choices are more. So we talked about test scores. So these are the two tests, ACT and ACT. I will just spend a little bit time here because I get lot of questions that people still think that ACT is not as recognized in California side, and the notion that most of the parent has that ACT is recognized in East Coast and SAT is recognized in West Coast. It was true till 6 7 years ago, but right now, if you take SAT or ACT, either of the tests, they are considered equally. So, no matter which test you take, it is considered equally. Parents will think UC is test blind, then why do we have to take SAT or ACT? So, even if you are applying to UCs, your students should take SAT or ACT, because for the SAT there are only two sections, math and English, which is 800 points each. And if you get a good score, there are ways that you can put the SAT math or SAT English score as one of your curriculum course as well. So there are different ways, but don't go just by the statement that UC has said that we don't need SAT score, so my student doesn't have to take SAT if we don't want to go out of state colleges. So that's not 100% true. You may have seen in the US education system, there are a lot of flexibility for students. So you should take advantage of the flexibilities and opportunities that present to you. The format for ACT is little different. It is out of 36 points, but along with math and English, there is an additional science section. So it depends upon your student's strength if they are good in science, and the approach is a little bit different about the questions, the way it is framed. So if they are comfortable with ACT, they can definitely go ahead with it. If they are comfortable with SAT, either way is fine. Parents are generally know about SAT more. So if your student, let's say, take ACT and you don't know if the ACT 33 score is good or not, you can definitely find a conversion which converts your ACT score into SAT score, and you will have an idea about what exactly your score looks like. Extracurriculars, which is a very important part of your whole college high school journey, I would say. So from starting from ninth grade up to 12th grade, there are a lot of different things the students go through. Along with their academics, they can go through clubs, volunteering, internships, and then definitely sports. So I will spend a little more time on sports because and the way I basically structured my presentation is based on the queries that the parents have. And after this present, I will try to wrap up my presentation in 40 minutes, and we can have some more time for question and answer. So the first one is clubs. So the why the school clubs are important. So the school clubs shows your leadership, your students leadership, shows their passion and their consistency. So as soon as students go into the high school, I would recommend generally for them to join any school club and try to be consistent. So each year don't try to change your school clubs. One year DECA, next year FBLA, third year medicine, fourth year business, something like that. So it doesn't show consistency. Don't have to start clubs. You don't have to be president for all the clubs. You don't have to be founder for all the clubs. Some clubs the student is interested in, they can be just as a art participant. Some clubs they can be leader, some clubs they can be officers. So the position does matter, but it does not matter that much that the only the clubs you should be part of is if you are only the leader, president, or something like that. Another is volunteering. So volunteering also should show your passion, but it should not be random. One year you are doing library volunteering, the next year you are doing going to the hospitals and volunteering, third year you are doing some street cleaning, something like that. So you should find a niche area of your volunteering choice or your passion and then work on it. Third is internships. So try to find some internships after your junior year, which is just before you apply to colleges. At the start of the senior year, generally the students apply to colleges. So try to see the internship. Paid internship, unpaid internship, honestly, it does not matter. Paid internship, it is an incentive for students because they feel, oh, this is their first job in life and they feel accomplished when they get some money in their bank. Sports, it's not mandatory. So parents feel that my student have to do sports, they have to be in DECA or FBLA, they have to do speech and debate, then they have to do Bharatnatyam, Bollywood dance, and then they have to do something else, piano, all those things. And it is very overwhelming for students, actually speaking. So we as a parents, we need to understand the pressure they go through. Along with their academic pressure, nowadays students have the social pressure as well. And sometimes sports for them can be only recreational, way for them to just take out their stress, way for them to just de-stress, way for them to just enjoy and be with their friends. So they don't have to have sports which are their varsity league and then the state level champion, all those things. Sometimes let them pursue the sports, it's if they are interested. If your child is not at all interested in sports, we don't have to force them that they have to pick a sports, either tennis, either football, either swimming, either basketball. Not necessary. Not everyone can be a athletic personality. There may be something else that they are interested in. So we at the secure college admission, we try to see the student's strength and focus on that, not ignoring their weaknesses, but try to see what their strengths are and addressing those strengths. So essays, as I mentioned, this is like a four category in the college application review. Essays is the fourth part, and there are different essays for all the colleges. And believe me, we feel that essay is not a big part, but essay is a very big and crucial part. When your student hit 12th grade and August 1st applications open, most of the applications deadline is as early as October 15th, as late as January. So by the time they finish first semester of senior year, their 80% of the applications are done. So they are in the senior year, they are going through a lot of pressure, essay writing, and by that time they cannot do much about changing their GPA, they cannot do much about changing their volunteering activities, they cannot do much about sports. So at that time what they can do is write their essay, and how they write their essay, because all other, if you see, they are pretty much are like numbers, but the essay is the way you can actually connect with another human being, and that's the way you can tell your application officer that this is my story, or this is who I am Manisha, and you get to know Manisha through my essays. There is a fundamental difference between writing the UC PIQs and Common App. So if you see here, I did not say UC essays, but it is called as personal insight questions. And it is very, very different than writing Common App application essay. So Common App essays are used for private colleges, let's say Stanford, Yale, Harvard, UPenn, Santa Clara University, U Washington, all those colleges. Uses, there are 9 uses throughout California, and they will use these 4 PIQs. Out of
Yeah.
8, you have to choose 4 PIQs. Coalition essay, so Common App, Coalition, these are just portals, and then some colleges come under the Common App portal, some colleges come under the Coalition portal. So depending upon the college list that we build, we can pick and choose that which essays. And pretty much the prompt, if you see, for Common App and Coalition, it is pretty much the same. So it doesn't matter, you write one essay and you can basically reshuffle it for one or the other. But the UCPIQs are totally different, and you cannot reuse the same UCPIQs for Common App or Coalition. So UCs, out of 8 prompts, you have to choose 4, and it is 350 words each. Common App, there are 7 prompts, 7 or 8, and out of that you choose only one. Supplemental essay is basically very college specific, and it varies by the colleges. So on an average, if you see, because of the competition, student apply to anywhere from 20 to 25 colleges. So if you choose 20 to 25 colleges, and definitely if you're from California, you will choose California UCs and CSU, which are state colleges. Apart from that, if you even if you have, let's say, 8 colleges which are private or out of state, excuse me, you have to write, I would say, anywhere from 20 essays, including the supplements. And supplements mainly ask for why the major that you have chosen, why you want to come to our college, and how will you contribute to our college. Think of it, college is an institution also. So the colleges are looking for, okay, yes, you are paying the tuition, you are coming to our college, you will get the education, but what we are getting in return as a college? So because the colleges also need to look, build their brand, correct, they have to say that our alumni was Neil Armstrong, our alumni was Barack Obama, whatever it is, or our alumni was Mark Zuckerberg. So what are you giving us to our college? And that's what actually stands out as an applicant, and they are looking at that what you are bringing to our table. And that's what the supplement is. And mainly they ask, if are you good at leadership, are you good at diversity, are you good at sports, you are good at academically, what it is they are asking through this supplemental essays. So these are some of the Ivy League colleges. Ranking do change each of the year. So these are just two topmost papers: U.S. News ranking and Forbes ranking. And U.S. News ranking, it is basically, if you see, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, these are the 8 Ivy Leagues, but there are other colleges which are not so-called Ivy League colleges, but they are very reputed. Yeah, I don't know how many of you know that Stanford is not considered as Ivy League colleges, but definitely it's a reputed college. U Chicago, NYU, these are also very, very reputed colleges, but they are not considered as a Ivy League. And if you see the ranking has the US News ranking, it is, or the Forbes ranking for that matter, it is basically considering all the colleges in the USA. I do get a lot of parents ask me, where are your students located? Are they into Harvard? Are they into Yale? Are they into UC Berkeley? Are they into UCLA? And I proudly say that my students are in UCLA as well as in UC Merced as well, because I do have students whose GPA is barely 3.0, and I do have students whose GPA is perfect 4.0. So depending upon the student's GPA, of course they can aim for those colleges. I don't discriminate. There are some counselors who do not take students whose GPA is even less than 3.7. But my students, even I had a student couple of years back whose GPA was even less than 3.0 because of different circumstances. But unfortunately, below 3.0 GPA, you cannot apply to UCs. But if he got into CSU college. So these are the latest data, and for the California parents who are aiming to look at uses, this is a kind of like a wake up call for you, because if you see year after year, UC does say that they are. You may have heard the news or you see somewhere that they are saying their applicants are increasing. This is the first time they have accepted lot of applicants, something like that. But if you see the admit rate for UC Berkeley, it is just 11%. And if you see their GPA, it is close to 4.0. So perfect 4.0 GPA, even if you have, admit rate is 11%. And then how do they choose from that 4.0 applicant? If there are 128,000 applicants, only 14,000 only 14,005, close to basically 15,000 applicants were accepted into UC Berkeley. We as an Asian were considered as a privileged minority, and unfortunately in UC Berkeley, all the UC system, first time college students are given the preference, which is Latinos, African Americans, anyone who's going as a first time going into the educational system. Sometimes that put us at a disadvantage because we compete with that pool of applicants. And then if you have seen in the past few years, the rate of acceptance for us, it has been going down year after year, and it is sometimes very disheartening to see that we are staying in California but still the acceptance rate is going down. And the competition, definitely, if you see, it is becoming like a IIT level education nowadays. If here, lot of bright students, lot of hardworking students, and they really sweat day and night for 4 years to get into a dream college. So I will just quickly go through all these slides. I just want, these are the data that I attended a conference last year, and this is the data that we received from the UCs. So UC Davis, if you still see the admit wait list, so there were almost close to 1400 people on wait list, and unweighted GPA 3.83. If you have a GPA below 3.83, your application will be considered. It's not like it's not going to consider, because they do holistic review. That means that along with the GPA, they are going to look at your essay. Along with GPA, they are going to look at your extracurricular activities too. This is just a range of GPA that they have given, which is on an average. If you see at the bottom, historically underrepresented 31% were accepted in UC Davis. Limited income 38% were accepted. So if you are IT profession, you don't come under the limited income category. First generation college going, so as I mentioned, 34% were accepted there. So when they said their admit rate is 37%, where do we fall into all this rate? We have to take a look at it. Same, UC Irvine. So unweighted median GPA range is 3.95. So everywhere, if you see, the competition in UC is increasing. And if you see the highlights, 77% increase in American Indian, Alaska's native admits. So they are going for the diversity, all the colleges. 46% admits of qualify as low income. 42% of admit as qualify first gen income. So each of the uses focus this year it was not this year, it's past couple of years it is diversify, and because of that diversification Asians are kind of basically getting hammered. Everywhere you will see the UCLA admit rate day by day. 3 years ago it was 13%. Last year it was 11%. This time it was dropped to 9% because of the competition. So I would like to just pause here and give this. So when they give the admit rate, so there are admit rate, it is total freshmen, but then there is a admit rate even differs based on their what that college is known for. UCLA is known for art, theater, the film. So if you see that admit rate is 4%, 5%. UCLA is the best school for nursing. Admit rate is only 1%. So don't go by the overall admit rate, because overall admit rate is generalized, but if that college is specialized in something else, that admit rate is going to be below whatever the general admit rate has been given. UC Merced, still if you see average applicant GPA was 3.8, and but the average admit, even if it is UC Merced, and that's what I said, right? The UC Merced, the GPA, it was couple of years back it was 3.5. Now the UC Merced GPA is also going up, it is 3.7 at 3.64. So that's the admit, that's the basically GPA they are looking for. UC Merced this year announced that they are going to, they have launched the BS to MD Prime program. So these are the changes which are coming to the UC system. Only as a counselor we get to know firsthand, and unless and until you know, we only look for the conventional traditional majors, and we don't even know that these are the majors that the UCs have offered or they are going through some of the changes. UC Riverside again the same. San Diego again it's the same. San Diego, they had 140 majors, and these are their selective majors. So in the selective majors, if you see data science, they introduced 3 years ago, and soon it has become one of their popular majors. So now data science is become called as a impacted major. Okay. Biological sciences, obviously it has been their prime standalone major. Engineering, all engineering majors at UC San Diego are impacted. If you go for mechanical, robotics, whatever, computer engineering, it is called as a selective majors. They have hundreds of minors, and they have opened a 8th academic school. So in the UC San Diego system, within their campus they had 7 schools, so you can pick and choose your schools, but this year they introduced one more school. UC Santa Barbara, it's again the same. UC Santa Cruz, admit rate is 31%. But again, if you see first gen low income, so this has been the focus for all the UCs. Financial aid. So this is one more. It is called a federal loan, financial aid, or it's called as a FAFSA. It is either a grant or a aid. So based upon your household income, you will be even given as a grant or aid. So financial aid means it is a federal loan. So while your student is studying, they don't have to pay any interest, but as soon as they finish their study, within 6 months they will start basically accumulating the interest, and then based on that they have to pay. Financial aid, if you, the most of the time then the question comes, do we even have to apply if we don't qualify? I would say yes, because why not take a chance? Even if you have a IT salary, if even if you don't fall into the bracket of whatever the aid that you may be receiving, it's just one application. You have to give your 2 years of tax information. You can even link it to your IRS account, and then the application is done. But if your student, let's say, goes to the college and they want to do any study, do a TA job, or they want to do a campus job, anything, for any of those things, the FAFSA application is mandatory there. And once that application window closes, you have to wait 1 more year. You cannot apply anytime, so you have to wait 1 more year and then reapply it in the following year. So it's a good idea whenever you fill in your student's college application, it's a good idea to even put a financial aid application. Uh, last year, Biden has forgive some millions loans of students' debt because so if you get a aid, there is a chance that it may be forgiven. So so this is our information. Securecollegeadmission.com is our website, email address, our phone number. Please feel free to contact us anytime. So I just wanted to wrap up my presentation and be open for the question and answer, because otherwise I don't know what is this the parents who have joined, how what is their student, if they have any questions in state, out of state, and I'm happy to answer. So thanks, Rajesh, for giving me this opportunity, me and Venkat, and you are doing a wonderful community service by through Swara platform. So I will stop sharing here, and if there are any question answer, I'll be happy to answer.
Manisha, some participants have posted questions in the chat. Can you please go through?
Sure. Thanks, Venkat. Okay. So the first question is, my son is on H4 dependent visa. Will he be
Yeah.
considered as, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Manisha ji. Thank you. So we'll take a roundabout about questions. So, it was a great presentation. So, within a short span, you covered a lot of topics, about the colleges, different subjects, so what is the process altogether. So we have a few questions from the individual teams. So I think we can get started around.
Okay.
So with the first question is from Nirati. Nirati, you can unmute and you can ask question, Nirati.
My question was, for dual enrollment, is this only in the form of online classes, or is it also community classes? Can I write that as well?
So dual enrollment generally happens through community colleges, because that's what the dual enrollment is called. So the community college courses are considered as AP level courses.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Uma. I have a quick question about this dual enrollment. And my kid is in 7th grade. Maybe it's too early, but still I just want to understand this process. So that's why I joined this conference.
Okay.
So what is this dual enrollment? Can you explain me a little more about it?
Sure. So the dual enrollment, the way it works is along with doing your high school work. So mainly in California, there are a lot of community colleges, and all the community colleges are kind of, it's all the system. So community college, UC, CSU, it's all a system. So the community college courses that you have taken throughout your high school career, they are considered as a dual enrollment courses. That means you have enrolled into your primary high school, but along with your primary high school, you are doing some courses from the community college, which you can apply it as a general credit courses towards your college whenever you go to college.
Thank you.
Sure.
And also I have a quick question, like what can we do? Like my kid is learning piano and also martial arts. So when we are trying to project all these as extracurricular activities, how do we project? Like, do we need a certificate on this, or that she need to have like there are also like music programs, right? Like merit programs there where you have to do some certification in piano, or what kind of proof they expect?
So honestly speaking, technically they don't need any proof when you apply to colleges. It all depends upon the honesty. But if audit comes, so because there are a lot of frauds are happening from the applicant's perspective. So if the audit comes, and if they find out that, let's say, you've misrepresented the information in the application, your application will be rescinded, and then for I think 1 year or 3 years you will not be able to apply anywhere in the United States. So you have to be very mindful when you basically put the information on the application.
Thank you.
Sure.
I really appreciate it. And how can I prepare her for high school? Like currently she's having her GPA around 4, and I know this is not considered for college, but how can we, like, any special things that we have to start now? She's not into Spanish yet because of the waiting list in her school. So what can we
This
do
is
to?
actually correct. So this is not a general question. It is a very specific question because, as I mentioned, we don't have like a one answer for all the students because it depends upon students' strength and weaknesses. So I do offer middle school specifically for the middle school parents consultation, which how they can prepare at least end of eighth grade even before going into the ninth grade, so what they can do. And if you, I'll be happy to have a 30-minute session with you and then we can discuss and go from there.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I will contact you through your email address.
Yes, thank you.
Manisha ji, I think Sridhar Rao Racharla, he posted a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, can you please go through?
Sure.
Maybe we can ask Sridhar to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Sridhar, just can you give a little brief about your case and Sridhar Rao Racharla.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for this great opportunity. So we are in Connecticut, and now my son is in 12th grade. It's first time for us, and it's all new experience for me. So I'm here in Connecticut for the last 7 years, but when he was in middle school or when he started his high school, so I did not plan ahead. But now it's late, and I am really researching, asking my friends, and trying to get information from whatever the sources. And I am still what do you say, a lot of open questions and still in dilemma. First thing is we are on H1 and he's a dependent. He's on H4, so we are not eligible for FAFSA. Not sure what to do from here from the fees perspective. And there are some informations that I read and heard from a couple of my friends, but their kids are also not in the college. Just some random information. So they were suggesting me to convert to F1, but I'm not sure if advantages and disadvantages of being in H4 or converting to F1. And mainly I'm targeting Northeast colleges. So for that, now I feel like I am late in approaching some CPAs like you. Or is it the right time, or is it too late? Can we still work with you?
So you can work with us, Sridhar. Honestly speaking, for college application process, regarding with the visa status, I'm not an expert in that field, but I do have we have consultant who is a financial planner expert, and definitely you can I can connect you with him. But basically, I would just give one suggestion right now. I would not recommend converting to F1 just yet. Till 21 he can be dependent, and after 21 till he reaches 21 he can be considered as a H4 dependent even while going to college. And then by that time I think he will be in the second or third year, and at that time you can apply for the F1 because that's when he will become the international student. But at least you can get the advantage of 2 years of college with his H4.
Okay, so he will be considered as local here, right? When I apply for colleges with H4?
Yes, at least with H4 he will be considered as local.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, when I say local, he will be local only to Connecticut. When he move out of Connecticut, it will be again in-state and out-state thing, right?
Correct, definitely. Yes. So to consider even as a local to Connecticut, I hope he is staying in Connecticut for more than a year. 365 days.
Oh yeah, we are here for 6 years, so that's not a.
Yes, then for local Connecticut, he's in state till 21, as long as he's staying in Connecticut college. As soon as he goes out of Connecticut college, he will be considered as any other student, no matter what their visa status is, they will be considered as out of state student and have to pay that tuition.
Okay. So when you say tuition fees, since he is not eligible for FAFSA, we are now in a position to pay the full fees. Do we have any other options?
I do. So if you can connect me afterwards, I will be happy to basically
Okay.
give you some of the options. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, sure, definitely. I'll reach out to you either by calling or. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Sridhar.
And Diptiji, so I see, you are asking a question about AP colleges versus dual courses, AP courses versus dual courses. Can you bit elaborate on the question?
Sure, thank you. Manisha ji, I believe dual courses are only to speed up the college years. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? They don't have much value on the transcript. Am I wrong or right?
So you are wrong and right, both, Dipti. So as I mentioned, some school do allow dual enrollment courses to come on their transcript. So it depends upon the school and district policy. If the school says, yes, you can go to XYZ college, take a course, but let us know which course you are taking and I will put that course on our school transcript, then it will affect your GPA as well, and it will enhance your transcript. Some schools are little not cooperative in that sense, and they will say you can just take dual enrollment course for your own purpose, but it is not going to have a value addition with respect to your GPA. So in that case, the dual enrollment courses, that whatever you have taken, you have to separately submit the transcript when you apply to colleges. So it will not increase your GPA, but it increases your application portfolio.
Okay. If a student had to choose between taking more AP courses or choosing fewer AP but a few dual, what would you recommend?
I would suggest first going through the school, because the way application admission officers review the application, even before they open the application, they get a cheat sheet called a pink sheet. And on that pink sheet, they have a basic information, your student's school name, your school students overall policy, like let's say XYZ Lynbrook School. So Lynbrook School has 30 APs total. Then what is the student population? If your school gives ranking, then what is the school ranking process? How many students are there in particular school? So even they open your application, your student's application, this information is with them to just get an overall idea about where your students stand with respect to the policy of that particular school. So let's say if your school has only 10 APs and your student has taken only one, then it doesn't look good. But if your school is offering 20 APs and your student is taking 16, then it looks good on the application. So I would suggest it depends upon school to school policy, because if the school offers fewer APs, then most of the time this school go through the lottery system and your student may not even get that AP course. In that case, then you go out and pursue other options.
And will the transcript ever show that the student applied for an AP, but he was in the waiting list and he never got it?
It doesn't show. So the burden lies on the student, how they justify it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So unfortunately, there is no way to put, but then the student have to convey that either through essay or through other avenues, that why they did not basically take the APs. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
So thank you, Diptiji. Thank you, Sridhar. I know. So we covered, a few questions about, thanks for asking questions, and I think, your questions are answered. Sridhar, I know you were asking about something about the pricing of board of vessels. So probably you can reach out to Manisha ji offline and she can help you on that for sure. Any other questions? Any other topics, from the team? Please unmute yourself and shoot directly. Manisha ji, as you know, Swara is kind of continuously working on various aspects about edutine and infotine. We do publish magazines, we do radios, talk shows, and a lot of public speaking activities. So, do you think the school, high school, just like a school boards, right, editorial boards? So we are starting a new program called SEED, Swara Editorial Engagement Department. So anybody, if anybody participates in the program, if we give any certification, or if we are working with some school boards to get some credits. So do you think that would help on their college application process? So having an additional certification from a company like infotainment media provider like Swara would help them in terms of their services and the hours that they spend. So do you think that the internships and the services towards Swara would help their application process?
Definitely. So, see, nowadays, no matter what the career you pursue, social media marketing and having that awareness on social media, may it be YouTube, may it be podcast, anywhere, it is considered as awareness from the student's perspective, because it has become, unfortunately or fortunately, it is one of the life skills. If you pursue medicine, if you pursue computer science, or anywhere else, having these skills are life skills. And if Swara offers this kind of internships or certification program, it will definitely look good on the student's application, that they are trying their ways to basically pursue these life skills.
Absolutely. So, and one more thing, like, so Swara is consistently doing a program called Swara Rising Stars. So where we are identifying the people, with the different disciplines, right? So that it could, particularly for kids, middle schoolers, high schoolers, and elementary, in their specific departments, they're good in robotics, science, technology, and the NGO work that they do. So we identify people and then we honor them with Swara Rising Star Awards. So what, the other program that what we are thinking is anybody who participates in Swara EDD, seed program would be qualified for Swara Rising Stars second round directly, rather than the first elimination round. So they would be directly in the second round. So we're going to have an advisory board from experts like you, and we will review the applications who comes in for Swara Rising Stars, and they would be presented in front of a Senate or the distinguished authorities, and they'll get the recognition on their work that they are doing. So I would encourage parents to have your kids participate in SEED program. I'm sure, so in the disciplinary, whichever the disciplinary that they're pursuing, that they would like to pursue, either it could be medicine, life sciences, or science, technology, engineering, and whatever it is, right? So we are, right now, Swara is continuously doing programs in 33 categories, whether it could be lifestyle, devotional, lives, mental health, so there are a lot of activities that we are working. So we'd love to get them on SEED program, and would love to see if we can help in any of the way. We would love to be part of it. And as I said, so we have only 10 seats for this year. So probably if you have any nominations for your kids, right, so again, based on the hours that they're going to spend and the quality, so they'll get reward points and the internships and certificates, and will be qualified for Rising Stars program. So I'm going to send more details. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions, or definitely would love to get them on board. For sure. And we are already at the top of the hour. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. We'll definitely love to talk to you more. And I see a last question from Priya. Priya, with this question, Manisha ji will take one question from Priya, and then probably we'll call it off for a day, and we'll have an offline conversations with the team, if needed. Priya ji.
Hi everyone. Hi, Manisha. Thank you. Thanks for all your information. Yeah, and I just posted the question. So this is regarding that, our kids are doing a lot of extracurricular and volunteering. So I just want to know, what the college's expectations, or is there any in terms of the extracurriculars or the volunteering hours per se. So just to get a glance, what their expectations or the recommendations, where parents or students have to, spend their time on?
So there are two ways. UCs do not take any recommendation letter, but there are 20 activities that you can list down, and then whatever the volunteering that your child has done, you can just put it there. Hours, you have to self-report the hours, so they don't ask for any certification that how many hours you have spent. So as I mentioned earlier, it is basically just trust basis, but the UC can do the audit of the hours if they feel that it doesn't, if the student is saying 20 activities and then everywhere they are saying they spend 40 hours per week, then it's not justifiable and they can audit the UC. But it is pretty much self-reported. For private and out of state colleges, they do, most of the colleges do ask for recommendation letters, and there you can ask wherever your child is doing volunteering or internship, get a recommendation letter from them and then attach it, so that way they can justify the work as well as how many hours they have spent.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
With that, I think we are almost more than a little bit over an hour. So thank you very much everyone for joining this. And Manisha ji, thank you very much, and I wish you all a very happy Diwali. And without Venkat Garu and his guidance and support, probably this session could have not happened. Thank you, Venkat ji. Thank you very much. And looking forward to have much more conversations like this to help our community.
So thanks Rajesh for arranging and doing a great work through Swara, and thanks Venkat for connecting me with Rajesh. And happy Diwali to everyone.
Happy Diwali, everyone. Thank you all.
All right. Bye, everyone.